Charlie Arnot is the CEO of the Center for Food Integrity, a nonprofit that works to build trust in food and agriculture.
One of the things that people are confused and concerned about today, particularly those in agriculture, is why do people hate big food? Why do people hate big agriculture? So what we want to be able to do is provide a context for that, really a bit of understanding of why we got to where we are today. How did we get into the position where people are fundamentally more skeptical about food, despite the fact that it's safer, more available, and more affordable than it's ever been before? And then more importantly, what do we do about it? As people involved in agriculture, how can we begin to reshape and change that public conversation about food in such a way that it encourages greater public understanding, which results then in greater public trust? The challenge we have in agriculture, how we got to the point where people are more skeptical, is that over the last 45 years, there have been enough violations of public trust by institutions, whether they be government or business or religious or academic institutions, starting with things in 1968 through the Watergate, through Exxon Valdez, through the second president that was impeached but was not convicted, through the subprime mortgage collapse, that we are fundamentally now more skeptical of institutions than we've ever been before. At the same time, over that last same 45-year period, we've seen consolidation, integration, and application of technology in the food system, which results in food being safer, more available, and more affordable than ever before. But it also causes the public to now think about agriculture as an institution, and therefore, like other institutions, perhaps no longer worthy of public trust. So when farmers are faced with those fairly direct, challenging questions, there are a couple of different ways to respond. One would be to respond very directly and to respond to the challenge with information and data, which is only likely to result in the questioner becoming more polarized in their opinion, or to really begin to ask some questions and engage in a dialogue. So I hear your concern about antibiotics, and I really appreciate you being willing to raise that concern. Tell me some more about why you have that concern. Where did that come from? And then they can tell you a little bit more, and ultimately it's likely to boil down to either a mistrust of big agriculture or a greater concern about food safety. That then gives the rancher or farmer the opportunity to engage in that conversation in a much more meaningful way, to be able to have the conversation about his values and to be able to talk about how his values are really aligned with what the consumer wants. That's the kind of relationship that's likely to result in increased trust. One of the great things about working in agriculture, and one of the things I really enjoy about it, is when you talk about a group of people that have great values, you aren't going to find a better group of people than farmers and ranchers. They just have fabulous values. They're deeply committed to doing what's right. We just don't tend to talk about our values very much. And so we really need to be much more comfortable talking about our commitment to doing what's right and less about how we do what we do. One way to think about it is that science tells us whether or not we can do something, society tells us whether or not we should. And the questions we're being asked today are all about whether or not we should do what we're doing. Those are values-based questions. So it's really important that we're able to make that values-based connection to help people understand that our systems have changed, but our values have not. That we still have the same kind of values that have made rural Oklahoma strong and will continue to make rural Oklahoma strong in the future.
To learn more about the Center for Food Integrity, just go to the SunUp website.